Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Yep, I am back to talk about my thoughts on the Hulu situation with Disney and possibly the future of Hulu and all that, and how it's possibly not looking very good in the near future. So, yeah, I'm going to be talking about that. If you guys haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. If you guys don't want to listen to me talk about this stuff, then you guys can click off the video, because I do reviews and Let's Plays. I do have another Let's Play planned here pretty soon. I plan on to Let's Play Katamari, Once Upon a Katamari, because, the game's coming out here soon. And I do want to get back to finishing the Stacked States videos, because I'm getting closer to being done with that too. Some of the Let's Plays had to be, kind of put off right now until I get some more money in, because I told you guys I've had some problems behind, the scenes and all that, with getting a job and all that, but everything seems to be getting back to normal, so hopefully I got everything straightened out. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about this. So, yeah, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm at 600 subs. Yep, I hit the 600, mark. I'm kind of just barely getting, around there. I do have a reward video for hitting 600 subs. And then, I will have a super reward video for you guys when I get to 1,000, subs. So, but I don't know what I'll do yet for the 600 subs. I thought about a video, but I haven't decided yet. I'm probably gonna wait a little bit longer though before I start making it, because I gotta get things caught up with the other videos, and then also not just that, but I also need to get I also, have to, make sure, they're real subscribers. I think it is real, but just to make sure. But also, make sure you guys are still subscribed, because, there hasn't been reports of it lately, but it doesn't mean there hasn't been, it still ain't going around with people getting unsubscribed to the platform, so. But I'm sure people are probably getting kind of tired of people talking about this, but I really want to talk about this stuff, so. Anywho, let's go ahead and talk about this. So, with Hulu and all that, if you guys don't really know, the whole Hulu situation here, Disney was actually in a contract with, to acquire Hulu. I think this was going on back when they bought out Fox, because they already, bought out Fox, and, this was already happening in 2018, and their deal was finished in 2019 to buy Fox. Because I think with those kind of purchases, you have to make sure, you have to get some of that approved first. And Fox was a pretty big, platform, so they had to kind of make that, approve that and all that. And all that. So then we had, this whole thing going on with Comcast and, Disney with Hulu and all that, Because, when Disney bought out Fox, they got a good portion of Hulu as well. Because, because, back then Hulu, Comcast, which owns Universal, and Disney shared a big portion of, Hulu. I don't know if there was any other studios. I think Warner Brothers might have had a bit of a share too. But Disney, Disney, Warner Brothers and Fox were the big one. Well, or not Warner Brothers, sorry, Comcast were the big ones. They were the three big ones. And, Warner Brothers would have been the small one. But, yeah, it's basically, kind of been, that was a deal they made a while back. And they couldn't really just back out of the deal. However, since then they freaking acquired, they went and acquired, Fox. And, I'm starting, I've been wondering this for a long time. And, Clownfish TV, if you guys ever seen them, for people who watch this kind of stuff, they talk about this stuff too, and I literally say the same things they've said. I've gotten called out before with this stuff. I've been told Disney is fine, and this and that, and them buying Fox was a great idea, and literally, what they've been saying is some of the shit I've been saying too. Like, I think buying Fox was so stupid. It was. And we're seeing the results of it, and I'm like Clownfish TV, I'm also questioning what the hell did they fucking buy when they bought out Fox. It feels like, they spent $71 billion on Fox. And yeah, they got a lot of Fox's, libraries. They got the Home Alone movies. They got that. They got like Family Guy, The Simpsons, and all that. And then they got Avatar and all that. But even the Diary of the Wimpy Kid movies. But a good chunk of this shit they got. A lot of these franchises were already ran into the ground. They were already, ran into the ground when they bought out Fox. They were ran into the ground, and all that. And they, and then when they bought out Fox in freaking 2019, when that deal was finished, they canceled a shit ton of movies that were in production, kind of like what Warner Brothers did to kind of, when they merged with freaking Discovery, they canceled a shit ton of movies and all that, and then, and then in 2020, they got rid of the Fox name, they say, the way they worded it is they got rid of 20th Century Fox, and then Fox, Light Pictures and all that. And they got rid of the Fox part of it, because, and rebranded it to 20th Century Studios and then just Searchlight Pictures because, to not confuse the two brands. But I'm like, why do they word it like that? Why not just say they don't own all of Fox, It's literally like they don't want to admit that they fucked up buying Fox. Just saying it like that. And then we got, in 2021, they shut Blue Sky down, which that part of Fox actually could have made them a bit of money if they kept fucking Blue Sky, open, but they got rid of, that studio, and a lot of people lost their jobs. And I know some people were kind of split on their movies, but they had other movies that were in the works, and they kind of quit making the Ice Age stuff for a little bit there. Now, it sounds like they were going to make another one anyway, but that also would have been, I think that was going to be more of a Disney thing, because pretty much when Disney got Fox, they actually have made a few sequels. They made a few of them. They even made a Home Alone, sequel to the movies and all that too, so... and all that. There's all that, and then, it's been like this. Like, they've been slowly, fucking killing Fox and all that, which makes you want to know what the hell they really got when they bought it. They got a couple good things out of it. They got Marvel movies. They got, like, Deadpool, Wolverine, and, X-Men and all that. They got all that stuff. But I'm like, do they really need the Alien movies? Do they really need that? Do they really need, well, they definitely don't need the Home Alone movies. They don't need that. And you just keep questioning what they really got, and then a lot of, like, their TV shows and all that, it's like they don't know what the hell to do with it, it's like, right now, their Fox shows that they have they had The Simpsons, American Dad, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, Futurama, those are like 5 shows right there that are all like continuing on. Oh yeah, and King of the Hill, which is like 6. So they got at least six long running shows here. I'm pretty sure that's right, like 6, right? Because I said so you got The Simpsons, Futurama, Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, American Dad, and that's six. They got like six, like, I'm sure there's maybe more than that, but they got like six like long running shows, and Futurama and Family Guy are definitely Family Guy definitely feels like it needed to be killed off. It was a long running show. Futurama, they kind of just brought that back because, again, they need the money. But I feel like they need to just admit that they fucked up and just, like, sell the shit off. I mean, obviously, they're not gonna do that, but I just think this whole thing is just freaking stupid. And then, now we got the whole Hulu thing, because, again, that's kind of where Hulu's kind of coming into. So that Hulu was people were also saying, too, in the past that Disney, now owns Hulu, that gives them control of Hulu, which should be a good thing for Fox. But again, they're getting rid of Hulu pretty much, too. I mean, Hulu's gonna still exist. It's gonna be on Disney Plus, but they're shutting down the app for Hulu, which they just blew, like, I don't know how much money on it just to get Hulu here, and now they're gonna just shut it down. They're gonna shut down the app and all. I mean, the app's still gonna exist on the Disney Plus, but why the hell would you I don't know. I don't know. Like, why would you want to like at this point, like, what's even the point of even having Hulu? If you could just put fucking live TV on Disney Plus. Like, why do they need Hulu? You can see there's some weird shit going on here. You can see that I think they know they screwed up, but unfortunately they're not going to admit they did, And by they, I mean Bob Iger, because again, Bob Iger did this stupid thing acquiring Fox. Again, like, why did he do it? Because, again, he wanted to compete with Netflix, and as we can see, that has not been working very well. It has not worked well at all. It's not worked well at all. It actually has failed, and, I don't know. I'm definitely thinking that there's definitely a problem here with all this stuff. It's, it definitely isn't very good. But I don't even know, like, I don't even know why they even have Disney Plus. Like, I guess maybe because Disney Plus is more of a recognizable brand, but, like, they didn't need to create Disney Plus. They could have just had fucking Hulu, and just, when they took over Hulu, maybe they could have rebranded it to Disney Plus or something. I mean, I probably wouldn't do that because that would piss people off, but I'm just saying that would, if that's what you would do for a streaming service, that'd make more sense than spending fucking billions on there. I mean, to be fair, actually, we don't even know. I don't know if we even know how much they spent on Disney Plus. Because remember, they spent all this money on Disney Plus to build Disney Plus when they already had most control of Hulu. And then, now they have freaking Hulu, and they just spent all this money on here, and they're gonna shut it down, but the problem is, again, like, they spent all this money on it. Like, what was the point of buying it, I don't see the point of them buying Hulu, because they're just gonna shut it down. I mean, they just shut the app down. I mean, it still exists, to where, like, where they basically got, to where, for example, like Blue Sky and all that, like Blue Sky Studios, that got, completely shut down. At least they kept the name, so at least people can be happy there, because people in the comments are like, I'm like, hey, at least they kept it there and all that, like, but I'm like, yeah, they kept the name, they kept the Hulu brand name there, but again, like, it's still pretty much dead at this point. I mean, it's basically going to be a dead brand, I mean, the app we once knew is dead. I mean, it's going to be dead. I mean, it's going to have the name Hulu there, but it's not going to be the same, it's just going to be all in one app, and again, it's like, why do they spend, why the hell do they freaking spend, again, all this fucking money on, it. Some people are saying they spent more than $9 billion. I mean, $9 billion is a ton of money for an app as it is, but, like, I mean, it wouldn't be, I mean, 9 billion wouldn't be too bad, again, if you didn't already have a streaming service, and you aren't a company that is known for, buying shit and ruining it, like, I mean, what they did with other properties they have bought in the past, like, Maker Studios and all that, they did all that, they bought out crap like that, and then, didn't know what the hell to do with it, and then shut it down. That's what, they do, that's what Disney does, and, I mean, if they knew what they were doing, it'd be a little bit different, but that's the problem. Like, I don't think they know what they're doing, but that's the thing, though. Like, I have a feeling that this is not just gonna be the end of Hulu. I think Hulu is gonna be dead, but I think Disney in general is gonna be dead. Like at least the Disney Plus. Maybe the company might be able to turn itself around, but I don't see the point of them having Disney Plus when we can just have all the stuff on the platform. I mean, personally, in general, I don't really like Disney Plus. I freaking hate it, because I'm like, you may be thinking, like, why do I hate Disney Plus so much? Because they have all the stuff on there. Well, they don't have every show on there. They don't have, they don't have the show like the Buzz Lightyear Star Command show. They don't have that on there. Apparently, there's some other Disney Channel shows that are not on there either. And then a lot of the other movies, they kind of, remove the font that I like, so I'm like, I just go on, on DVD and watch it. Anyway, I mean, it's not really just Disney Plus. I want to clarify, it's also other platforms like I barely watch HBO Max anymore. Well, honestly, HBO Max is a little bit different, because they don't have really anything on there anymore. In fact, I've been hearing, and I think it's actually confirmed that Warner Brothers is wanting to sell their company, so that's going to be interesting, but I mean, there's talk that Paramount was going to buy it, and then now it says Warner Brothers was kind of like, not so much. Which I'm just like, I don't understand why. I'm like, Warner Brothers could easily probably have gotten bought by, Paramount, but I don't know. But, I mean, I don't really want them to be bought by any company, but I'm just saying, I'm like, that's kind of the state we're kind of in with all this stuff. All these studios were trying to, make, create their own streaming services and all that, only for them to kind of, be going back and to Netflix and all that anyway, so I don't see the point of all this, That's pretty much what, well, Hulu is one of these two. Hulu is more of a Hollywood, thing, but still, it really does suck. Again, I really do hate, again, that Hulu is disappearing as well. I hate, again, that's another thing, again, that Disney is going to destroy, because, again, they are too stubborn to admit that they are making a mistake here. I don't actually know either when they're shutting it down. I actually had a phone call with one of the people there. She was very nice. She sounded very nice, but she was she and I were having a little conversation, and then I was telling her about Hulu, and I was like there's like DVDs, and because I feel like I like to see some of these studios make some DVDs again, because people do buy it. She was basically saying she does not know though when they're shutting it down. She doesn't have a date either. I figured you would like give it a heads up for people. I mean, especially if you're paying freaking monthly or an entire year. Well, I guess to be fair, an entire year, I don't know. It's just kind of, I mean, especially your workers. Like your workers are like your workers here are trying to buy or not like they need to buy some time so they can get themselves ready when they're leaving. But I don't know when they're gonna be shutting the platform down, so there's no notice. But apparently they will send out stuff to people, so hopefully people will actually get that. Now the one thing is too, speaking of DVDs, the one thing is that this is why I kind of brought that up, is Hulu actually, even though the app will disappear and Disney will most likely kill it in the near future, or because if, Disney Plus ends up not working out, which, I mean, at this point, I'm like, that's the problem again, with Bob Iger. That's why I hate the fucking guy so much. I hate him. Like, he is a fucking shitty person. A shitty person, a shitty CEO. He does these things where, like, I mean, it's one thing to make mistakes. I mean, when you make very, very bad mistakes, that's a thing. But, like, when you make a shitty mistake, and then instead of trying to fix it, you try to, like, run it into the ground further, and then, create more problems and all that, just to make yourself look good. That's the problem. And that's the problem with him. That's what this is all about too, with buying up streaming services. It's all about this. It's all about, like, but not, like, that's why he got part of, that's why he spent money on Fubo TV and all that too, because he's trying to, like, make something work that's not going to work, and he can't. He's stubborn. He's a stubbornly hard-headed man, and he needs to know that, that's not going to work out, and it's not fair. Your people have to suffer for it. However, it does look like he's getting kind of some repercussions for, like, his actions, because people are starting to call out his bullshit. Remember when people were praising Iger, and people were shitting on Chapek for all this stuff? I can tell you guys, I didn't like Chapek either. I didn't like him either, but I will say, there were some videos too, I want to clarify too, some of my older ones where, I said, Chapek, I said Chapek, but I meant to say Bob Iger, like Iger, but I messed up the names there. But I definitely liked Chapek over Iger, because Iger, again, does this shit where he keeps buying shit up and ruining it. Chapek was kind of, his problem was he was overcharging on stuff and spending a lot of money on shows, and he was talking about doing the same thing with Hulu. He was talking about wanting to end Hulu too, but, I mean, under him too, they did end Blue Sky, which I think, honestly, if Iger was there, that probably wouldn't have happened, but also, there are a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes where I think Chapek was under a lot of stress. Like, you could tell, like, if you guys could tell, like, he had, like, a goatee going on, and, like, I mean, there are men that grow their facial hair out and all that. I mean, we got Adam Sandler has this giant beard now. He's got a giant beard on him, but he's I see he even kept it in his Happy Gilmore 2 movie. But this is not just a normal beard. This is like he looked like he was stressed out. Like, even in his eyes, he looked so stressed, Like, I don't know why. I can tell this kind of stuff with both males and females when it comes to stress. I could tell, though, he was not, like, he looked like he was stressed out. But, honestly, I think what was going on is he didn't necessarily have all the control in there. And then he was basically freaking stabbed in the back. And then they brought Iger back. And I still am kind of upset about this. I'm still upset that people were like, I mean, I don't like Chapek either, but I really hate how people were, like, trying to make Iger, like say Iger was the savior of Disney and all that, when he was not. He was not the savior of Disney, because everything that they were blaming, Chapek for, Iger did the same thing, it's like Chapek said something bad about animations for kids and all that, this and that, and I'm like, that's not even close to as bad of some of the crap we've been dealing with, like, I mean, this stuff's been going on for a while, like, movies have been getting worse and all that, again, Iger, has been buying shit up, trying to grow the company more and more, instead of focusing on, the original stuff, and, the crap they already, own, it's just been kind of a mess, it's been a mess, but but yeah, I'm like, Iger definitely is not the savior of Disney. Iger is a a horrible CEO, and I'm sure that this Hulu thing, is going to be horrible. I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, again, it's gonna suck for people who want to enjoy Hulu. We can't do that because we can't have nice things because Disney doesn't like us. They don't like us. I must be fair, Hollywood in general doesn't like us anymore. Not just Disney, but Hollywood in general. Because Hollywood is just, it's not the same place it was a long time ago. It had some problems, I think, back in the day, too, but it definitely was not nearly as rough as it is now, I think I would say probably the 2000s, you can kind of see where it started kind of going downhill there, but that's the thing too. It's just like, I don't know. But that's why I like having DVDs as well, because you can go back to these older things. And like I've said, there are Hulu DVDs too. So if you guys want to go buy some Hulu DVDs, you guys actually can. You can go buy some Hulu DVDs and all that. I don't know if you guys can get some Hulu merchandise or not. You can get some Hulu gift cards. I got some of those because I knew Disney was going to do this. I knew they were going to do this, but I don't know. I will say, too, I don't know if Hulu is going to actually be, it wouldn't surprise me if Disney does this, but I could totally see Disney, now this is probably gonna, if they do this shit, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do, this is gonna be a bad thing, and it's gonna make them look even worse. Is, it would, they're already looking pretty bad as it is, spending, $9 billion or maybe more on a freaking streaming service that they could have just built up ahead of time instead of creating a whole new one, and then throwing it in the trash, throwing a bunch of money in the freaking trash, but also, they could have, but also, they could have just, they could have also, I don't know, they could have, done a lot of that, because they basically threw it all in the trash. But another thing is, too, the whole thing is, it wouldn't surprise me if they actually start, again, charging people freaking money and all that for all this stuff. And, it's just, I don't know, it's just, like I said, it's a freaking mess. Sorry, too, I am actually kind of tired right now. I've been kind of just, I've been very busy lately, working on getting me a job somewhere, like I told you guys, but, I'll probably have to be cutting streaming, myself, and that's probably what a lot of other people will do, too, and, like I said, they probably definitely do not want to, again, charge people for money either for this, for Hulu. But I do think they're going to probably do that as a bundle. I think they're still going to make it a bundle, even if it's on the platform, and, that's the part where I think people are going to be pissed about, I think that's what I was going to say, I probably need to wrap this video up pretty soon, but I did want to bring that up in the video anyway, because, I don't think anybody's really talked about this yet, about, are we going to be paying? People have asked the questions, but people don't really know, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney does charge you extra for Hulu, even if it's on the same platform. I wouldn't be surprised one bit. And I'm just going to say that it's really not worth the money, because a lot of things on Hulu you could just get somewhere else, because a lot of the shows that are on Hulu are kind of leaving it, but yeah, I don't know, but I'm probably going to end up, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen here, with that, but I do think, yeah, Hulu is going to be dead in the future. I think eventually they're probably going to just kill the brand off in general. I think it might stay on there for a little bit, but I don't know, maybe it might, I think it might stay on there until Disney cracks and decides to, it's not worth spending this much money on the platform and then try to go back to, just putting things on other platforms, and then it'll probably be gone, but it was fun while it lasted. But I mean, at least I guess the name will still be around, so Hulu won't be completely dead yet right now. So I guess it'll still be able to celebrate its anniversary, but but I don't know, but yeah, wouldn't be surprised again if they kill it off in the future, unless somebody decides to come in with a bunch of cash and bribe Disney and giving them the platform. Then yeah, I think it'd be pretty much just dead, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what the future has to hold, but I'm gonna go ahead and actually let the video go because I am I'm kind of getting tired. But I really wanted to make this video because I feel like there's a lot to say about this stuff, but I had a lot to say in this video, but yeah, I think it's stupid. Again, it's stupid of them to do this. I think they should not made this bargain, or they did. I think they shouldn't have built Disney Plus like they did. If anything, I think they should have just kept their shit on freaking, on Netflix or Hulu, and just I don't even think they should even got into this stuff, but all these studios wanting to get, streaming money and all that to their self, but, yeah, now I'm not saying everybody can't get there can't be streaming services out there. I mean, I like competitors, but there's way too many of them right now, and, especially when you're paying, it's different than a video game, console. You're paying, this stuff every month, or, consoles and stuff, you'd be paying separate, but I've talked about that, too, in the past, how that's what it kind of reminds me of back in the day. There was this console war. Everybody was trying to get into the consoles, and a lot of people kind of left. Some are coming back. I don't know if Sega is coming back yet with that. Because Sega kind of just became, it's just a partnered company where it's still its own thing, but it works with, other studios, I mean, I don't know, but they're not really Nintendo. They're more so their own thing, but they do license their stuff out, but that's kind of the thing, too, I'm I wouldn't mind seeing some competition, but again, there's just way too many streaming services right now, way too many of them, but yeah, I'm gonna probably go ahead and again let things go from here, but I guess we'll see when the date comes to when they shut the platform down, but I'll see you guys all later. Bye-bye.